Hello, my lovely children. It's about the time. Do we all know what time it is? It's story time. Are you excited? I'm so happy to see each one of you. I'm always looking forward to spend time with you, to read lovely stories to you, because I know that even as I read them, you are learning something new. And today is another opportunity to hear another one of our very exciting stories. So our title of the book today is Greedy Zebra. Greedy Zebra. And the book was written by Mwenye Hadithi. Mwenye Hadithi. Mwenye Hadithi is from Kenya. All right. Are we ready? Are we ready? All right, let's get right into it. Long, long ago, all the animals in the world were a dull, depressing color. No coats, no horns, no spots, and no stripes. Just dull and dusty until one stormy day in the heart of the leafy forest of Africa, there was a grumbling in the earth, and all of a sudden, a huge cave appeared in the ground. A few of the animals crept cautiously. Cautiously can be carefully. You know, they crept cautiously or carefully up to this new and wonderful sight. And when the bravest of them all peered into the darkness, he saw something glittering amongst the rocks. The cave was full of furs and skins, all glossy and new. Stepping inside, he came across horns and tails of countless shapes and sizes, and needles and threads of 1,000 different colors. The cave was full of furs and skins, all glossy and new. Stepping inside, he came across horns and tails of countless shapes and sizes, and needles and threads of 1,000 different colors. Trembling with excitement, he rushed out to tell the other animals what he had seen. The news spread far and wide, and soon all the animals were on their way to see the cave, running and jumping and sliding and swinging and slithering through the trees. All that is except one greedy zebra. Greedy zebra never ever stopped eating. Oh my goodness. He certainly wasn't going to give up a single mouthful for a silly old cave of any sort. Lots of time to go visiting caves, mumbled Greedy Zebra, stuffing far too much grass into his bulging mouth. Plenty of time, he said. Soon, all the animals in the jungle were gathered at the mouth of the cave, waiting for Elephant to speak. Elephant was the one who knew everything, because Ego told him all the secrets of the spirit of the mists. He coughed pompously and addressed the gathering. "It is time for you to have the coats," he said. "There are all kinds of materials here from which you may choose. You will be issued with needles by Rabbit, but there is only one needle each, so take good care of it. Now you may go in, but no shoving and pushing, and keep in an orderly line." Meanwhile, Greedy Zebra was still eating. Can you imagine? Munch, munch he went. "This particular grass is so delicious," He stepped to gape at the beautiful thing in front of him. It couldn't be, but it was Sable the antelope. And she was wearing the most glorious new coat and horns. She was wearing horns. When greedy Zebra heard that the coat and the horns came from the cave, he troughed off as fast as his fat little legs could carry him. But he couldn't resist a leaf here or a succulent blade of grass there. Oh, and that patch was too good to pass by without one little bite. From time to time, he met another and another, and yet another of the wonderfully clothed animals. Stopping for a last bite not far from the cave, he watched Leopard finish her sewing. Leopard, as careful as usual, had sewn the most splendid fur coat with spots all over it. Greedy Zebra could hardly believe his eyes as he watched the leopard wriggle into the perfectly fitting fur. "I shall have spots like that," he said to himself, and he hurried off, eager to reach the cave. But it was a hot day, so he stopped for a cool drink at a stream, and there he came across a patch of the greenest grass he had ever seen. Delicious! He munched, smacking his chubby lips. Back at the cave, most of the animals were leaving. Only Rhino and Elephant were still cutting their material. They had chosen a very strong grey cloth. Poor old Rhino was very short-sighted. He stuck his horns on an old how and was having a terrible time. He was too nervous to ask Elephant for help because he knew that the pompous animal would only make fun of him. He had dropped his needle, and the more frantically he searched, the farther into the bushes he kicked off. He put on the baggy coat and shuffled off in a very bad mood. Just then, Greedy Zebra trotted by with blades of grass bulging from his mouth. "I'll have spots like leopard," he was saying, "and horns like kudu, a mane like lion, and a tail like cheetah. I shall be the finest looking animal in the forest." And at the risk of indigestion, he gave a short gallop into the cave. Then he stopped aghast. There was nothing left. No horns, no fine cloth, nothing. Frantically, he searched through the cave, but all he could find were a few stripes of black material. Forlornly, he cut them all to the same size and stretched them together. "It looks very tight," he thought nervously to himself. Being such a very fat zebra, he had a terrible time squeezing into his coat. He pushed and grunted, "Ah, ah, ah," and pop! He was inside it. But with a tight fit, it was nearly bursting at the seams around his fat tummy. He trotted down to the stream to take a quick bite of a fleshy bush, and pop! His coat burst open. Pop, pop! His tummy squeezed through the seams. How the monkey roared with laughter. To this day, his chubby stomach shines through his coat because he is so greedy. Can you all see? And that's the end of my lovely story. All right? So you don't have to be greedy. You can just have what's just enough for you. All right? And then you can share the rest. I hope you enjoyed the lovely story. I can't wait to spend time with you again next time. Goodbye.